everyone. We're so excited to chat. How's everyone doing today? Are you ready to talk AI? It's not like you've talked AI all day.
First time I've heard of that.
Yeah, so just to get a feel, like, who do we have in the room? Do we have technical folks? Okay, do we have marketers? Okay, how about social media people? Okay, we love Pinterest users? Everyone?
Woo!
Everyone. Okay, great. Well, we're so happy to have everyone here. We're really excited for the chat with Matt. And a quick background on me. Well, first, I just realized I forgot my notes, so I'm going to go grab them. But actually, Bertha, could you ask? It's in my gray purse over there. So really quick background on me is my name is Megan Adar. Spent a long time at Instagram and Snapchat leading teams for many years. And now, if you follow me, I'm the creator, thank you, I'm a very unprepared creator of the T in Tech, where we talk about tech and AI and kind of give a behind the scenes analysis of what's really happening in the world. And we're going live with Matt Madrigal, which I'm so excited about. I'm going to give you a little bio on Matt. He's done everything. Matt joined Pinterest as the CTO in 2024. He leads the company's product and platform direction. Previously, VP and GM of Manager and Merchant Shopping at Google, CTO of Fanatics, SVP of e-commerce in Williams-Sonoma. Oh my God, I'm out of breath. Whew. And before that, led product and eng at eBay. He's done a lot.
I was going to say something about age, but yes,
No,
I'll take
he's
it.
very young. Trust me, he's very young. He's very extraordinarily accomplished. So yeah, look, I think Pinterest is at a very interesting point, and Matt is leading the charge on the next iteration of technology for the company. So very excited to dig in with you, Matt, and thank you for joining us. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much for having me. Thanks for coming.
So kind of how I wanted to kick off with you, Matt, is I think, as we know it, CTO as a role has really evolved. I think, as I know it, the CTO used to kind of be the head nerd and kind of the chief IT guy. And that role with AI is really changing, right? I think you, as a CTO, as someone, as a technologist, you now kind of have to make philosophical decisions, right?
Yeah.
How do we deploy this AI responsibly, safely? And so I almost think of you as a CTO plus chief ethicist. Tell us about how you view the role of CTO evolving and kind of your values for the role and at Pinterest.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. And for those of you who don't know, Pinterest is a personalized visual discovery platform, and we sit at the intersection of commerce, search, and social. So from an AI perspective, AI is the foundation of everything we build at Pinterest, and we believe that AI can enhance creativity, inspiration, as well as safety when it's thoughtfully implemented. And we also think from an ethics standpoint, it's a false trade-off to assume that in order to drive rapid innovation with AI, you have to forget about safety. In fact, at Pinterest, we're out to prove that you can do both very effectively, where we can iterate quickly for our end users, but also create a positive and uplifting environment. And so we've invested heavily in our safety guardrails in terms of how we tune our models. Now, those safety guardrails allow us to drive speed rails to rapidly iterate for our users. So a couple of examples I'll give, Megan. First is, if you're a user on our platform and you come to either women's fashion or beauty, we have a set of inclusive AI features where you can refine your search results based on skin tone, body type range, or even hair type. And so those results show a much more representative set of results.
Love that.
Yeah, and as well as they're more inclusive. In fact, what we find is those users who use those features pin more than 75% more than the average user. So very highly engaging there. Another example is our visual search platform, where we just rolled out a major redesign earlier in the year, and that is built on our own proprietary LLMs. And we've improved creativity, inspiration, and engagement there, because what we find is just lots of, and that's all powered by just cutting edge Gen AI, again, our own proprietary LLMs. Now, moving on to our advertising platform, and we've used AI to improve performance. We have a product called Performance Plus, which is our AI-powered ads product, and we've driven much better, more efficient results for our advertisers over the past 2 years since we've rolled that out.
That's great. And so now tell me about, you kind of mentioned a term to me that I really liked for your value, which is kind of additive, not addictive, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we tune our models to be additive and not addictive. And there's this, on other social media platforms, you see users make an unconscious choice. If they see, for example, one car crash, they'll see 10 more in their feed, and that's not empowering for users. And so what we tune our models and our experience at Pinterest is based on specific user intent. So we want to help our users find inspiration, refine their searches, and then take action. We want to help our users take action in real life. So some examples could be if I'm planning, if I'm doing meal prep, I'm looking for some recipes, or I've got a Halloween party that I want to dress up for. I create a board specifically for the outfit that I want to buy. So that's very empowering there. Now, we're also focused on transparency for our users. And specifically, we are investing heavily in ensuring that we label content on the platform as Gen AI generated. So the one thing I want to highlight here is that this is a super hard technical problem. There's no consistent metadata that maps an image or a video as Gen AI generated. So we're investing heavily in our visual classifiers that allow us to identify Gen AI content and then label it as such. So if we have a new classifier coming out that's going to flag human perceived Gen AI content. And this is actually an area, Megan, where we're leading. In fact, there's a recent Cornell study that talks about how Pinterest is leading in identifying and labeling Gen AI content. And the last thing I want to highlight is it's about user controls. And so a couple weeks ago, we rolled out a new home feed tuner, which allows users to determine and select whether or not they want to see more or less Gen AI content at the interest or the category level. So it's this combination of controls, transparency, as well as empowerment that creates this much more trusting environment on Pinterest.
Yeah, and I really like that because I think the additive versus addictive framework, I think it represents so much about social media now, right? I mean, what you said about the car crash, right? Like what he's talking about is I see a car crash, I look at it once, and then other platforms will keep giving me that car crash, even if I don't want it. So tell me let's dive a little deeper into kind of that user empowerment thing, because we as users should have a choice over the kind of content we consume. So what's your philosophy there?
Yeah, again, we tune our models and the content you see on the site based on user intent. And so what that specifically allows us to do is engagement is not enough. We're looking for things like, did a user get inspired? Did they save a pin? Did they complete a shopping journey? This is the key piece about the user empowerment, where again, we want to help our users be successful in real life. So if they find inspiration, and for me, for example, I'm getting ready for snowboarding season. So I see that very cool picture of North Star with lots of snow on it, and I find out that I have to go buy a new snowboard and gear with that. So a lot of emphasis on empowerment, and frankly, shopping is a huge use case on Pinterest to drive actionability, where if somebody sees something they like, they are able to take action.
Okay, so there's a lot of things I want to dig into there, but I want to stop you because I think that there's one topic of this, which is Pinterest philosophy, right? But then there's a second point, which is how do you actually operationalize philosophy into your teams, right? And I think it comes down to metrics.
Yep.
And so I have some experience with this. I worked at other platforms, and the way we drove engagement, our metrics were MAU and DAU, monthly active users, daily active users. Unfortunately, that creates engagement cycles, engagement loops that are potentially toxic, definitely unhealthy. So tell me about just functionally, what are do you like those metrics? Do you prefer others? What are your metrics?
Yeah. Philosophically, one of our North Stars is we think about time well spent versus total time spent. And again, it comes back to tuning for specific user intent. And the way we look at this is really a basket of metrics. So for our users who come to our platform with a specific intent in mind, was that intent satisfied? Did they save a pin? Did they create a board? Did they click out to a merchant site? Did they click out to an advertiser site to finish a purchase, for example? So that's part of the basket of metrics in terms of the strong signal about a successful session or visit. Did it end or did it have an action involved? So that's one piece of it. Another piece of it, though, is we do look at well-being survey metrics. And that's very critical because when we consider Pinterest as the positive corner of the internet, we care deeply about how our users feel after they use our app. So we survey them throughout the experience. Now I want to highlight this is an imperfect metric. There's lots of factors outside of Pinterest control that contribute to a user's well-being, but we take that basket of metrics and that's how we tune our models. And the good news is it seems to be working really well, because this past quarter we reported record users, over 580 million monthly active users.
Wow, congrats.
Oh, thanks. More work to do, but thank you. And half of our user base is Gen Z. So 50% of our users are Gen Z. And what's great is we often get feedback from Gen Z that Pinterest just gets me, and that's critical, because that's how we operationalize this idea of the positive oasis on the internet.
I really like this idea of time well spent, because I think that nuance isn't there in metrics more broadly at other platforms, and it's meaningful, especially for a discerning demographic like Gen Z beyond. I think when I think of time spent, I think of it ultimately requires a user's preference, and you have a keen understanding of what this person likes, and I understand that what's powering that is your taste graph. So tell us a little about the taste graph and how you're using AI for it. I think you have AI in it as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. So the taste graph is the backbone of all the AI we build at the company. And what it is it's hundreds of billions of interactions that we can map then to interests, behaviors, and goals. So the content that you see as a user on the site, Meghana, we can go much further beyond Meghana liked this, therefore she likes that. The personalization that we have on the site is much more nuanced, it's contextual, and it's also done in a Pinteresty way, where it's what's your vibe, what's your interest, what are your tastes?
Can you explain that? Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, well, as part of the foundation, this is actually the foundation of the proprietary LLMs that we build on the platform today. So we have a proprietary LLM that powers our multimodal search. We call it PinRec, that's what we call it publicly. And we find that the accuracy of our recommendations are 30% higher compared to leading off-the-shelf models. And so it's powered by the taste graph, all the associations, where we can save all that data into the same embedding space for both images as well as text. And that's what powers such an incredible experience on visual search. But it's the taste graph that also drives a lot of the actionability that you see on the platform today. So we've invested a lot of the past 3 years where users can go from inspiration to discovery. One of the cool use cases on Pinterest is this idea of lateral exploration. So you may be looking for, I gave the example of my snowboard. Well, I guess Pinterest also told me I need a bunch of new gear too, right? So that's the lateral exploration that you see on the platform. And that allows us to drive a lot of actionability as it relates to shopping. And so the taste graph is what differentiates and why we're able to build our proprietary models, because it almost acts as like your personal shopping assistant of sorts.
So it's that lateral part, it's almost like a merchandising unit, is that what it is?
Well, it's actually embedded into the core experience you see today. But what's interesting is, for example, if you visual search on, let's say you see a living room pin that you love, and what the search will do is, with our improved visual similarity algorithm, we're able to more accurately identify what specific products are in the pin, but more importantly, other related products and in other categories. So you may see something like a pillow you like. Well, guess what? Pillows also be purchased by other decorative accessories like frames or lamps. And that's the lateral exploration, because what's great about Pinterest and our ability to predict is, we give you inspiration on things that you didn't know you needed inspiration on. And that's what makes it such an effective shopping destination.
I really like that. I mean, it's the Steve Jobs, right? Like, people don't know what they want. You have to present to them. So if you can do that in a healthy way, that's a really big unlock. Okay, so I think about, so there's the taste graph, and you have at the very top what people like, but then kind of the billion-dollar question is pushing them down that funnel into conversion, into what they want.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that transition, we were trying to explore it when I was at Instagram shopping for several years, didn't crack it. So tell us about shopping, right? Because that's the next iteration of the taste graph. That's where it's going, right?
That's exactly right. And I just want to throw a shout out to the fact that I consider myself a shopping OG. You're talking about some background, but I've been in shopping for over 25 years.
Oh yeah, you have.
So this one's near and dear to my heart, and frankly, one of the reasons why I came to Pinterest. And shopping's always been a huge use case at Pinterest. In fact, over half of our users come to Pinterest to shop. And one of the big investments we've made is we've improved our visual similarity, our algorithms as far as the personalization and that lateral discovery, is that we're able to now take our users from inspiration to more refinement through search, visual search, and then through action. And we've made that actionability when a user is ready to pivot to go, for example, make a purchase. We've made that much more streamlined than maybe in the past, because we work closely with our merchants and our advertisers to create that seamless experience, and it's all powered by the Taste Graph. What's also really cool about our shopping experience at Pinterest is that we have experiences that are very unique to the platform. So for example, we love collages. So a collage is a format where you can kind of mix and match, pick. So hey, it's almost Halloween. So Megan is going to this awesome Halloween party with this Taylor Swift showgirl. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there.
Is that what I give? I give Taylor Swift showgirl?
No, I was just thinking about what was on the playlist, coming here. So sorry. So let's just assume that's what you're looking to shop for. You can mix and match a top, some pants, maybe some sparkly shoes in a single collage. And in that collage, you'll have multiple product pins that map to a specific retailer where you can complete the purchase. So shopping on Pinterest is very powerful. And also, Gen Z loves to shop on Pinterest. So we find that 66% of our weekly Gen Z users come to Pinterest first to shop compared to other platforms.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if that's where their tastes, their love, like their pins live, then why wouldn't they convert on a site that they trust?
Yep.
That's really interesting. Well, for those of you that know me, I like to spill the tea. So we do have a little bit of a hot tea take for you.
Let's do it.
Which is, look, the reality is, let's talk ads. Ads have been soft. Last quarter, CPMs were down 25%. A little bit of that advertiser demand has been soft too. So tell me your plan from a tech perspective.
Yeah. So ads on Pinterest, it's a big investment area for us. And the way I look at our product roadmap is really three big areas of functionality. First is we got to drive performance and measurement. So when you drive better performance and better measurement capabilities, you get more demand in the system. So let's talk performance first. So we've invested heavily in the relevance of our ads. In fact, we've doubled the relevance of our ads in the top slots of search. And that's not only great for advertiser performance, but we also view relevant ads as great content for our users. So if you think about both sides of the ecosystem, we get great advertiser performance and great user engagement. So that's one piece of it. The other side is continuing to invest in the Taste Graph. And the Taste Graph is super powerful when it comes to serving relevant ads. We have about 80% of our ads revenue now is lower funnel performance. And what the Taste Graph has is over 500 billion pins organized across 10 billion boards. And you can, shopping signal on Pinterest is very powerful and it's very lean forward, meaning that if I'm a pinner and I save certain product pins to a board, I clearly have interest to potentially buy. And through our AI, connecting those ad units to specific user interests, that's very powerful and that's driving improved performance there. And then the last thing to highlight on the performance side is Pinterest Performance Plus, which is our AI-powered ads platform. And what we've found there recently is that we've been able to reduce CPAs by 20% for specific catalog shopping ads. And at the same time, we're able to do that by requiring 50% less information in campaign setup. So that's a really good example of both advertiser efficiency and performance. And lastly, I want to hit on measurement, because this is a big area of investment where we're continuing to invest in our conversion lift studies. We want to ensure that advertisers see with transparency the improvement of incrementality that they get when they advertise on the platform, and investing heavily into deeper integration with our advertiser measurement sources of truth, MSOTs, as well as third-party measurement sources and clean rooms. All that being said, I want to come back to answer your specific questions on the CPM drop. And largely, it shows that our system's actually working, because what's happened is we're getting much better and efficient yield and distribution, because at the same time, we're seeing our ad impressions grow by 50% year over year.
Okay, so say I'm a skeptical brand with some money in my pocket.
Yep.
What's your message to potential advertisers if you had to give it?
Come to Pinterest. So, well, a couple things. As you're building a brand, what's great about Pinterest, just from a brand building perspective, is the experience itself. It's beautiful. It's inspirational. You're not going to be, side by side from a comparison shopping perspective. So you can really stand out that way. That's the first piece. The second piece is we have Gen Z. Half of our users are Gen Z. They come here to shop. That is obviously significant spending power there. And again, we have such strong shopping signal because half of our 580 billion monthly active users come to Pinterest to shop. So we have the ability to connect advertisers with their customers on the site in an efficient way. Also optimizing for the different goals an advertiser has, right? Whether it's customer acquisition, it could be performance through CPA, CPM. So that would be my pitch.
Okay, well, it's not a paid ad, but you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I think what really excited me about this conversation is that you're really thinking about it top of funnel and bottom of funnel.
Yeah.
And with AI kind of powering that shift, it's almost like a new era for
right.
Pinterest. So
Yeah.
I'm really bought in.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. So tell us, what's next for Pinterest? Like, what can we expect?
Yeah. Well, the future's bright. And a couple things as we look at. One is that we're going to continue to double down and invest in the areas where we're truly differentiated as a platform and a user experience. And specifically that's around positivity. And then leaning into our investments in AI to improve personalization, curation, and discovery. So that's going to be, we've had success there. We're going to continue to invest in that respect. Now, a little more tactically, we're very excited about our boards refresh. And so boards are such a powerful format on Pinterest because it's the foundation of curation on the platform today. And with holiday shopping coming up, you can think about boards almost like wish lists. So for example, I've got different boards of things that maybe I wouldn't mind my wife buying for me, but that's just one use case. But obviously, I also organize them into shopping use cases for things I want to get my kids. So that's actually really exciting with our board refresh. In fact, if you're in the app today, you'll start seeing new boards formats like weekly edits and more personalized board formats that will be coming down. And also, hey, it's almost November, which means it's holiday shopping season. So we've got a bunch of cool new features coming out, some gift guides that are going to make shopping this holiday a lot more fun and not so stressful. And then lastly, I want to give a shout out to Pinterest Predicts. So Pinterest Predicts is coming out. That gives users and consumers an eye into, and advertisers an eye into what's happening for what to expect, what trends to expect in the future. And for those of you who may not be familiar with Pinterest Predicts, there was last year's Pinterest Predicts had this, for example, the fisherman aesthetic, which was kind of my dad vacation mode vibe. So that predicted me very well, and so it'll also give you a little eye into where the company's going.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be such an interesting tool to use for, the holidays especially. So
Absolutely.
Something to think about, something to sip on.